blown double-digit leads all season long. We just lost to the goddamn Washington Mystics. Terrible, man. That is a bad basketball team. They got two young, rising stars. They're rookies. We got dominated by Sonia Citron and Kiki Ariafin. They was just taking math class and sociology and chemistry 3 months ago. And they came out there.
The Indiana Fever front office thought they could ride Caitlin Clark to glory. They believed that simply drafting the most electrifying player in women's basketball would fix everything. Sellout arenas, surging jersey sales, TV ratings through the roof. On paper, the Caitlin Clark effect looked unstoppable. But beneath the bright lights, the cracks in this franchise are wider than ever. Because while Clark's stardom lifted the WNBA, the Fever's management was quietly cutting corners, skipping steps, and gambling on shortcuts. And now, as injuries pile up and the truth comes to light, the entire organization finds itself under fire. This is the story of how the Indiana Fever nearly squandered their golden ticket.
Indiana Fever team taking Caitlin Clark serious, taking the window that they have with Caitlin Clark as serious as they possibly can. You'd think that they would invest in some overseas scouting, right? Right. It seems as if the overseas scouting department, some YouTube highlights, some clips, and a couple phone calls with a person on the other end saying, "Trust me, bro, trust me." Hey, is she good? Trust me, bro, trust me, she's good. Oh, that's all I needed to see here. Is she good? Trust me, bro.
And why their franchise savior might not be enough to save them. It all starts with the most obvious reality. Caitlin Clark is not just a player, she is the face of the league. She's the reason thousands pack arenas, the reason TV executives finally care about women's basketball ratings, the reason millions in jersey sales poured into Indiana. Fans didn't buy tickets to see the Fever as a team. They came to see her. But that dependency was exactly the problem. The Fever had no backup plan, no depth, no safety net. Clark was carrying the weight of an entire organization, while the front office pretended everything was fine. And then came the humiliations. The double-digit leads that evaporated in the second half.
And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is in serious trouble for revealing some major information. Guys, how come I'm not seeing no scouts, bro? Where the scouting department? Do they even have a scouting department? You mean to tell me, as I look through this thing right here, y'all done made all the well, y'all done made hold on.
The losses to teams that had no business winning, watching rookies straight out of college dominate Fever veterans like they were still adjusting to the pro game. Sonia Citron, Kiki Ariafin, players barely months removed from campus, were making Indiana look like amateurs. Fans paid premium prices only to watch Clark try to drag an unprepared roster through games the Fever had no business losing. Herb Simon, the billionaire owner of the Fever, thought facilities and marketing would cover up the rot. He poured money into a brand new $78 million practice facility. He launched aggressive merchandise campaigns. He let management hype the Fever as the Apple of the WNBA. But the one thing he didn't pay for, a professional scouting department. Think about that. Millions in revenue flooding in, jerseys flying off shelves, sellouts every home game.
The third quarter, they went on a 19-0 run. You hear me? Which put them up by 12. By the fourth quarter, they was up by 12 points. That's ridiculous. And then let me say this. What sense does it make for Stephanie Jigsaw White to take out Lexi and Sophie at the same time? You hear me? At the same time. Her rotations don't make no sense to me. And if it don't make sense to me, that allows me to think otherwise. She is fixing these games. The organization is in on it too as well. I'm sorry, at the end of the day, like I said, they just dragging us along to keep making money. Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC, she ain't coming.
Yet the franchise literally didn't have a proper scouting team in place. Instead, they depended on last-minute phone calls and word-of-mouth recommendations. Trust me, bro, she's good. That was the scouting report. An ownership group worth billions was running a franchise like a pickup basketball team, signing random names to short-term deals because nobody was doing the legwork. The results were predictable and disastrous. When Clark went down with her first injury of the season, the Fever scrambled. Instead of a carefully prepared plan, they rushed into panic mode, signing players they knew nothing about. Odyssey Sims, brought in on a 7-day contract. Then came Kira Lambert.
Building a $78 million practice facility, the Indiana Fever consistently draw over 16,000 fans to their home games. The Indiana Fever, amongst the top franchises in the league when it comes to merchandise sales. The Indiana Fever, now you know, marketing campaign. Kelly Krauskopf saying she wants to be the Apple of the WNBA. You would think, after all of these accolades, after all of the speculation, after all of the now you know, you'd think that we'd have a
player who had never played a single minute in the WNBA. The head coach herself admitted she didn't even know much about Lambert before the deal. That wasn't roster management, that was desperation. But the most embarrassing twist? The Fever were relying on one of their own players, Brianna Turner, to help identify signings. Yes, an active player doubling as a scout. Turner was asked to use her overseas contacts to recommend names, because the Fever refused to hire professionals. Imagine asking your Uber driver to do heart surgery, because you didn't want to pay a real doctor. That's what Indiana was doing with roster construction. Meanwhile, veterans who actually could have helped were sitting on the bench. Sophie Cunningham, one of the toughest competitors in the league, watched her minutes evaporate while untested newcomers stumbled through games. Cunningham brought defense, energy, clutch shooting. Exactly what the Fever needed when Clark went down.
It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections. Bree and especially has been super helpful in this. She's got a lot of contacts overseas who have seen Kyra, for example, play a lot overseas. Teammates that she's had that are over there that played with her.
Now, it was at that moment right there, everybody antennas went off. She said Bree Turner actually discovered Kyra Lambert. Hold up, wait a minute. How the hell do Bree Turner discover a player? She's no scout. She's no recruiter. How the hell? She's supposed to be focusing on the season of bad she's playing. Y'all got Bree Turner scouting player.
Instead, she was buried in bizarre rotations that left fans furious. Which brings us to the coaching problem. Stephanie White, brought in as a defensive-minded leader, has quickly become one of the most criticized coaches in the league. Her rotations baffle fans and analysts alike, pulling Sophie and Lexi Hull at the same time, benching hot shooters in the middle of runs. And instead of accountability, White often points to officiating as the reason for losses. Games where Indiana had double-digit leads ended in collapse because of poor adjustments and questionable strategies. The Fever defense, supposedly White's specialty, has been a nightmare. Bottom-ranked offensive teams suddenly look unstoppable against Indiana. Wide-open looks, missed assignments, no plan to contain wings. Against the Washington Mystics, a team that can barely score on anyone, the Fever gave up almost 90 points. It wasn't just a bad loss. It was an organizational embarrassment.
Stephanie White, you are supposed to be a defensive coach. We gave away almost 90 points to a team that is like 11th in the league in scoring. It's only like 13 teams. It ain't even that many teams. And they are at the bottom of the league in offense, and we let them come out there and do whatever they wanted offensively. Sonia Citron dominated our wing players. This is embarrassing. Kelsey Mitchell is not a clutch player. When the game is on the line, bro, she just gagged a wide open layup to cut the lead to 1. When the money is on the line in clutch time, you cannot rely on Kelsey Mitchell. This is embarrassing,
All of this ties back to the same core issue, wasted opportunity. Caitlin Clark is on a rookie contract. That means the Fever have a superstar, a generational talent, at a fraction of her actual value. This is the exact moment a franchise should surround her with championship-caliber teammates. This is the window to invest in scouting, player development, medical staff, and coaching infrastructure. Instead, Indiana has done the opposite. They've made Clark the entire plan, hoping she can carry a broken organization by herself. The numbers tell the story. With Clark on the floor, the Fever are competitive against anyone. Without her, they barely hold a winning record against the weakest teams in the league.
But
That's
here's
not
where this gets
sustainable.
absolutely
That's not championship
criminal.
basketball.
Caitlin Clark gets
That's an
injured, and
over-reliance
suddenly
on
the
one
Emperor
player to
has
cover
no
systemic
clothes.
failures.
The woman who
And the
single-handedly
injuries only
transformed this
make things
franchise
worse.
into a relevant organization.
Caitlin Clark
who
never
brought
missed a game in
$78 million
college.
worth of
Never
attention,
missed a game in her
sold out
rookie
arenas,
year.
and made
Her
the
durability was
WNBA appointment
legendary.
television.
Yet in her
gets
second
hurt, and
WNBA
the entire
season,
house of cards
she's already suffered
collapses.
multiple injuries.
Not because she wasn't
to different
incredible,
parts of her
not
body.
because the fans
A
weren't
quad,
loyal,
then a groin,
but because
then
Herb
another
Simon
setback.
and his management,
That doesn't
experienced
just
veterans
count
like
by
Sophie
chance.
Cunningham
That
are
points to
watching
bigger
quality
issues.
minutes slip away
Medical
while the
staff,
coaching
training
staff
load,
tries to
recovery
piece together
protocols,
rotations
things that
on the
winning
fly.
organizations
You've got a
invest
proven
in
defender
heavily.
and clutch
Things the
shooter
Fever seem
sitting
to
on the
treat
bench
as
while the team
afterthoughts.
bleeds
The
in
All-Star
crucial
game in
fourth
Indianapolis
quarters.
was
This
supposed to
isn't
be
player
Clark's
development.
coronation.
It's organizational
Instead, she sat out
negligence
with
and
injuries.
dressed up as
I think they merchandise sales was up like 300%. Y'all done made all them millions off CC Effect. And y'all ain't hired no damn scouts. Caitlin's in deep trouble. Oh, it's looking real spooky. You mean to tell me y'all done made all the millions, bro? Sold all them damn jerseys, and y'all do not have a scouting department? You mean to tell me? Hold on.
We're making this up as we go because our owner didn't invest in the infrastructure needed to support a championship-level organization. Here's the most damning part of this entire Simon disaster. It's all hands on deck. It's seeing film, watching clips, talking to contacts and connections.
Dedicated scouting
Caitlin
staff,
translation carrying this
international
organization
talent
so
scouted
hard
years
that
in
her
advance.
absence
The
literally
front
breaks
office
the team.
investing in
The
every
Fever
angle
have a
of player
10-9
development.
record without
Or the
Clark
Las Vegas
and
Aces,
8-5 with
who built a
Think about
powerhouse
that
by
for a second.
constructing
Women's
depth around
basketball
their
history,
stars.
a
These
generational
teams
talent who
understand that
sells out arenas
championships aren't
and
won
breaks
by one
television
player.
records
They're
is
won
being
by
failed by an
systems,
ownership
structures, and
group
culture.
that treats professional
Indiana,
roster
they're
construction
winging it with
like a hobby.
trust me, bro,
The injury
scouting, calling it
situation
a plan.
exposes
There's
everything
still
wrong
time to
with
fix it.
Simon's
The
hands-off
Fever have
approach.
trade options.
Caitlin
Camila
Clark had
Cardoso
never
in
missed a game in
Chicago
her
has
college
been rumored
career
to be
or
unhappy.
rookie season.
Pairing her with
This was a
Aaliyah
player
Boston
whose
would
durability
instantly give
was
Indiana a
training
front
staff,
court that
medical
could dominate
protocols,
for
and
years.
player load
That
management.
South Carolina
All
connection
areas
under
where
Dawn
proper
Staley isn't
organizational
just
investment
nostalgia.
makes the difference.
It's
Instead,
proven
they scrambled.
chemistry.
When she came
Reuniting
back and
Boston and
immediately
Cardoso
re-injured her
could
groin,
transform the
that should have
Fever
been a
from
red flag
fragile
about rushing
to
players
formidable.
back too quickly.
But instead of
When
bold
she
moves,
suffered a different
fans
groin
watch
injury
as Herb
and missed
Simon
the
and the
All-Star
front office
game that was
chase
literally
short-term
being held in
contracts
her
and
home
gamble
arena.
on random names.
The proof is in the
truth is
numbers.
simple.
When Clark
Caitlin
plays,
Clark
the Fever are
deserves better.
competitive
She
against
deserves
anyone.
a team built to
When she
protect
sits,
her career,
they struggle
not
against
just
teams
profit
that
from
they
all
should be
popularity.
organizational
She deserves an
medical
owner who
protocols.
invests
But here's
in the
where it gets
invisible
even worse.
infrastructure
They're
that wins
signing replacement
championships,
players
not
they
just
know nothing
shiny
about.
facilities and
Odyssey
merchandise
Sims on a
campaigns.
7-day contract.
She deserves
Okay,
teammates
she has
acquired through scouting and
WNBA
strategy,
injuries to Sydney
not
Nicholson and
desperation
Ari
signings.
McDonald.
She
And the head
deserves a coach
admits
who can
she doesn't
maximize
know
her
much about
strengths,
this player.
not
they just
leave her
committed
standing
to.
at the perimeter
This isn't
while
just poor
broken
planning.
plays unfold.
This is
And
organizational
the fans, they
championship
deserve it
environments.
too.
Who knows
Indiana
what
has
winning
some of the most
organizations look
passionate
like?
supporters in
And
the
she's stuck in
WNBA.
rotations that don't
They've
maximize
packed
her
arenas,
strengths.
bought
She's
jerseys,
proven she can
believed
hit
in the
clutch
dream.
shots,
But they
defend
can
multiple
see the
positions. Instead of
dysfunction
building
for what it
around
is.
that proven
They know this
production,
team is
the
wasting
coaching
the
staff
most
is
important
experimenting
window
with
in
lineups
franchise history.
featuring players they
The
literally
Caitlin
that's
Clark
not sustainable
effect won't
championship
last
construction.
forever.
That's
Once her
one
rookie
player
contract
dependency
ends, she'll
taken
have
to a
options.
dangerous
She'll know
extreme.
which organizations
And it's not
are
like the
serious
solutions
about
are
building
mysterious.
winners,
Look
and
at the
which
New
ones
York
are
Liberty,
content to
who have a
cash
dedicated
checks.
scouting
And if
coordinator
Indiana
and
doesn't
Clark
change
standing
course,
around
they risk
watching.
losing
You're not
everything.
coaching.
The
You're
fans, the
improvising.
momentum, and
White's
the
defensive
superstar who made them
strategies
relevant.
have been
Herb
particularly
Simon and his
criticized.
management
The
team
Fever
still
will
have
build
time.
leads, then
But the
watch them
clock is
obsessed
ticking.
about these failures.
Every wasted
White
game,
often deflects
every
to
blown
officiating
lead,
complaints
every
rather than
reckless
taking
decision
accountability
pushes this
for
franchise
strategic
closer
build
to
around
the
her,
edge.
where you
Caitlin
take
Clark
advantage
won't
of
say
having
it
a
publicly,
superstar at a
but the
discount
message
rate
is clear.
and construct a
Build a real
championship
team
roster.
or risk watching
Instead,
the golden
the
era of
Fever
the
are
Fever
squandering
end
this
before it ever
opportunity
truly
with
begins.
organizational incompetence.